Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Good morning again.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
So in the last class we had very exhaustively done verse number 8 and a lot of discussions on Pratyavaya Papam, which I hope you have all assimilated by now. Any questions on that particular subject? Okay. So we will go to verse number 9. So please unmute yourself and we can chant. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yajñarthat karmanonyatra Lokoyam karma bandhanaha Tadhartham karma kaunteya Mukta sangha samachara. Okay. So first, let's look at the words. You have to break up that first word into yajñarthat plus karmanaha plus anyatra. Yajñarthat karmanaha anyatraha lokaha ayam. So that it breaks up into lokaha ayam by dropping the avagraha. Then karma bandhanaha. Then tad artham karma kaunteya mukta sangaha samachara. And the anvaya is yajñarthat karmanaha anyatra ayam lokaha karma bandhanaha. Full stop. He kaunteya kama mukta sangaha tad artham karma samachara. So he says that, if you look at the sentences, yajñarthat karmanaha anyatra ayam lokaha karma bandhana. Ayam, this person. Which person? This person on who is going to do action, right? This person who is the karta. Lokaha karma bandhanaha is bound by karma in this world. So lokaha karma bandhanaha. This person who is doing karma is bound in this world by karma. Yajña arthat anyatra karmanaha. Yajña arthat means actions done as a yajña. Yajña arthat karmana. Actions done as a yajña anyatra, other than those actions. So this person who is doing actions is going to be bound to this world by the karma if those actions are performed other than as a yajna. Okay, very, very important thing. If you are performing actions as a yajna, as a worship to the Lord, then that action does not bind you. But if you are performing actions for your own benefit, that is not as a worship to the Lord, then you are bound by those actions. And therefore he says, hey Kaunteya, for this reason, what should you do? Mukta sangaha, be free of attachment, not to the actions, but to the fruits of the actions. And karma samacharaha, do your karma, tad artham. So tat here has to be taken. has to be connected to yajna. Tadartham means for the sake of yajna. So ultimately, Krishna is saying that, hey Kaunteya, remember that if you do any actions other than as a yajna, those actions will bind you in this world. And therefore, hey Kaunteya, be free of attachment to the fruits of the actions and perform the actions as if you are performing a yajna. For the sake of the yajna, you perform the actions. So world is bound by actions. All those actions which are other than actions of yajna, therefore perform actions as a yajna without attachment to the fruits. So we have to understand that it's again a discussion on karma. Okay, like this entire chapter, of course, is karma. So you'll find different aspects of karma coming in. And here we can say that karma is of two types: bandhaka karma and mochaka karma. So what is the meaning of mochaka?
Freeing.
Free. So those who don't know this word, there is a very common usage in India. Mochaka means that which can give you moksha, and bandhaka means that which can bind you. So in plain English, karma is of two types: bandhaka, which is binding karma; mochaka, which is non-binding karma. Right? And what are the types of karma which we have? We say there are 5 types of karma. Anybody knows what the 5 types are?
Nitya karma,
Nitya, Naimittika,
Naimitya karma,
Yes.
Nishiddha,
Yes.
Nishit,
Yes.
Tat,
Prashchit.
Prayashchit, Prashchit,
Prashchita and one more.
Karmaya.
Kamya karma. Okay, so there are 5 types. Kamya karma, which is desire driven karma, is called Kamya karma. Prayashchita karma, karma done as a as a penance to, because you've done something wrong in the past, and therefore you're doing a penance to eliminate the problem that you have, the negative aspects that have been generated by your earlier papa karma. Therefore, this you are doing some penance. That is called Prayaschitta karma. Prayaschitam literally means penance. Then Nisheda or Nishiddha karma, which is prohibited karma. And then Nitya karma, which is the karma mandated to you to be done regularly with the scriptures. And Naimittika karma, which is karma mandated by the scriptures on occasions only. So Nitya is regularly, Naimittika is on specific occasions like marriages and death anniversaries, stuff like that. So 5 types of karma: Kamya, Prayaschitta, Nisheda, Nitya, Naimittika. Out of this, Nitya and Naimittika karma is non-binding karma. So Mochaka karma, karma which can enable you to get moksha, is Nitya and Naimittika. And Shastra says Kamya karma, Prayaschitta karma and Nishiddha karma is bandhaka. And therefore, remember that karma which binds you is desire-driven karma. Even the Prayaschitta karma binds you, and banned karma, of course, Nishiddha karma, of course, binds you. And Nitya Naimitya karma is, of course, karma which frees you. Okay. So one must know this in order to understand the Shastram properly. Whenever Shastram criticizes karma, remember to recall these 5 types. And therefore, any criticism in the Shastram is of the bandhaka karma only. Okay. Whenever scripture criticizes karma, remember that it is always criticizing binding karma. So we'll use those 2 terms going ahead: binding and non-binding. And therefore, you must remember that any criticism is always of bandhaka karma. Now, like we have to remember that in this world, we have so many things given by the Lord to us, free of cost. Okay, we have a wonderful body, we have a wonderful mind, we have wonderful sense organs, wonderful world is there, sense objects are there, food is there, hunger is there, thirst is there, water is there. intellect is there, and there are enough of field for discoveries using the intellect. So anything that I need in this life, Bhagavan has provided. And there is a nice saying that nature has provided enough for man's need, but nature can never provide enough for man's greed. So whatever is needed, Bhagavan has provided. And Krishna is saying that Lord has provided so much. Therefore, you should worship the Lord for all these gifts. And therefore he says, Yajnarthat karma. Karma yoga is meant for the worship of the Lord. Converting every action of yours into an offering for the Lord, Ishvara Arpanam, is karma yoga. And your whole life can actually be converted into this particular puja, this ritual. Normally, what do? We get up in the morning, have a bath, sit in the puja room for 10 minutes, pray, and that's it, over. But that's not real puja. The ultimate puja is to convert every single action in my life, even my very breathing, has to be converted as an offering to the Lord, and that is the puja. So everything can be converted into a puja. And SPG gives a very beautiful example. He says, supposing you are, in a new place and you are searching for the house of a friend. So you are going around and around that place trying to find that house. So he says, that is good. It is necessary for you to find the house. How will you convert that into a puja? He says that going round and round, you can convert into what? Going round and round can be converted to what?
Pradakshina.
Pradakshina. Very beautiful example. What does it mean? You keep Ishvara in the center of your life. And if Ishvara is in the center of your life, even going round and round, trying to find somebody or something, is also Pradakshina. And whatever you're eating, you say Pranaya Swaha, Brahmane Swaha, convert it into an offering. Swaha is I give to you, is the offering. And therefore, what is Karma Yoga? Work is worship, we say, right? Karma Yoga is you using every action in your life, including all work activities, as an offering. And that is why Ramana Maharshi says, Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Vrid Deva Pujanam. Where did that come from? Any idea? We have done it. Upadeshasaram. We have done this. Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Vrid Deva Pujanam. So, Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam. Jagata Sevanam, serving the world. Ishadhi Yuktaha. You should have the intellectual understanding that Ishvara is there everywhere. Ishadhi means Dhi is the intellect, the thought, the idea. Ishaha Yuktaha. It should be attached. That intellect should be attached to the Lord, seeing the Lord everywhere. Therefore, Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam. I can serve the world, but I should look at the world as the Lord. And what sort of world is that? That also he says. What sort of world is that? It is Ashtamurti Bhrid Deva Pujana. It is the eightfold form of the God. That is the word. That we'll not discuss here. Another discussion, what is the eightfold form and all. So offer your work to the Lord. That is all that is required. You need not come to the temple. You look at your bedroom as the bedroom of the Lord. You look at your kitchen as the kitchen of the Lord. You look at your very office as the office of the Lord. And everything that you do, you offer through this particular attitude, Ishvara Arpanam. So Yajnartham Karmaha means Karma Yoga is a Yajna. And what is going to be the advantage of this attitude? Krishna says, Anyatra ayam lokaha karma bandhanaha. Anyatra, otherwise. Otherwise, if you do not convert your action into worship, what will happen? Karma bandhanaha. Every action will be a bondage for you alone. And Shankara in his commentary translates Anyatra as Anyena karmanaha. Karma not in the nature of Yajnartha karma. So any action which is not in the nature of worship will lead you to bondage. So action as a worship is not bondage. Action which is not a worship is the cause of the bondage. Why do we say that? Why do we say that any action which is not a worship is cause of bondage? Because any action which is not a worship, I am not offering it to the Lord. And therefore, I don't have the comfort of the presence of the Lord in my life at that point of time. So I will have tensions. Will my son get into IIT? Or I might be afraid. He's a smart boy. He will not go into IIT. Will he join Shivananda Ashram and become a karma yogi? Whether my daughter will get married. And if she does married, whether she will have a child. And if she has a child, then will he join the ashram or will he join the IIT or will he go to the USA? All these problems are forever there. So every action that I do without this idea of Ishvara, without this idea of doing it as yajna, that action is a poison for me, an arrow in my arm, because every action causes me stress and strain. Right? You can look at lifestyles today. People falling dead at 35 and 37 and 40 with stress. And everybody talks about stress management. By the age of 40, any successful executive has got cholesterol, BP, heart attacks, everything is there. And so Krishna is saying that all this is not necessary. You eat well, you do your workouts well, you remove the stress and all that is possible, but only under one condition. Convert all your life into worship. Ishvara Arpana Bhavana should be there. And convert every consequence of your action as Ishvara Prasada. Tell yourself that whatever I do, I'm offering to the Lord. Whatever comes from the Lord, it is Ishvara Prasada for me. So you might ask, okay, fine. I like to do chanting, right? Is chanting bhakti? Yes, of course it is. But bhakti is not just chanting. Bhakti is, real bhakti is an appreciation of Ishvara and his order, the structure which follows Ishvara. And therefore these verses bring out very beautifully how we can use bhakti, devotion to convert karma into karma yoga. And Krishna is saying that actions are capable of binding me only when they are done without recognizing Ishvara in my life. By recognizing Ishvara, I convert the action yajnarthaha into a yajna. And remember, therefore, that it is the same action which you are doing. When you do not recognize Ishvara, also the action is the same. When you recognize Ishvara, also the action is the same. And therefore, remember that it is not karma which has a capacity to bind me. Isn't it? You can use Anvaya Vitireka method also. Karma there, Ishvara there, karma is there. Ishvara not there, karma is there. Karma is no capacity to bind me. What then binds me? What binds you is the attitude.
Attitude.
The motivation. The adrishta karma which we call, that is what binds me. Okay. So what binds you is adrishta karma, the motivation for my karma, the raga dvesha which makes me do the karma. It's a very profound statement. Whatever I am presented with in my life is what? It's a result of prarabdha. And if you look back at your life, especially, when some situation has been dealt with already, or you have gone through the situation already, and now you are not affected by the situation now, so you have more dispassion about that situation. You look at some past situations, and you will realize that when the situation came, the situation itself would have presented me with the idea of how to address the situation. What should I be doing to address the situation? That was obvious. The very situation presented me with a solution. What was necessary was that I should look at the situation obviously, which means objectively, and leaving my raga and dvesha out of it. Right? So effectively, Krishna is saying that when something needs to be done by you, you should do it. Right? That is what it means in the previous verse. Nityam karma kurutvam. What is to be done, you have to do. Whether you want to do it or not is not relevant at all. It is not part of the equation at all. Nitya karma is something which you need to do. Naimittika karma, something which you need to do. I may want to do it, I may not want to do it. That is not relevant at all in the decision to be doing or not doing. The decision is very simple. It needs to be done. I need to do it. If I like it, great. If I don't like it, I still need to do it. Because doing Nitya Naimittika karma has the capacity to give me not only Chitta Shuddhi, but it can also give me some material benefits. That is not the primary point. I should focus on Ishvara Arpanam and Ishvara Vasada Buddhi. Therefore, I focus on Chitta Shuddhi. Unless I focus on Chitta Shuddhi as the objective of all my karma, remember that karma will become material. It will become Kamya karma. And if any karma, I have to make it retain the character of Nitya karma or Naimittika karma, the focus should only be on Chitta Shuddhi, never on the material benefits. The moment that I change my focus from Chitta Shuddhi to material benefits, that karma, that very same karma, will lose the Nitya Naimittika character and become Kame karma. And therefore, from Mochaka karma, it will become Badhaka karma. From non-binding karma, it will become binding karma. The only deciding factor for this change is what? The focus. If I am focusing on Chitta Shuddhi, then it is non-binding karma. The same karma. Karma does not change. If I am focusing on material benefits, it becomes binding karma. It becomes Kamya karma. And therefore, two very important corollaries. Can you make out? We said there are 5 types of karma. But when you say this, saying that the same karma can be either Nitya karma or Naimittika karma or Badhaka karma, then the corollary is that even this, number one, first corollary is that Nitya Naimittika karma can become a replacement for Kama karma. Right? Only the objective has to change. The attitude has to change. Instead of doing that karma for fulfilling my desires, Kama karma, I do it for Chitta Shuddhi. Materially, the benefit will remain the same. You get it? Materially, the benefit will not change. I will still get the material benefit, but because my focus has changed from getting that material benefit to Chitta Shuddhi, I will have done Nitya karma instead of Kama karma. And therefore, Nitya karma can become a very good replacement for Kama karma. Secondly, the same Nitya karma, I can do it as Prayaschitta karma also, but when doing that, again the same rule. I should focus on the Chitta Shuddhi part and not on the Prayaschitta part. If I do that, then the Nitya Naimittika character is not lost because I am focusing on the Chitta Shuddhi. And therefore, the rule is that if you are doing Nitya Naimittika karma properly, you don't require to do Kama karma or Prayaschitta karma. Those same two karmas, Kamya or Prayaschitta, is being converted into Nitya Naimittika simply by changing my focus from material or Prayaschitta benefit to Chitta Shuddhi benefit. And therefore, this Nitya Naimittika karma is a 3-in-1 karma. You know, like a 3-in-1 oils you have, right? 3-in-1 karma. What is that? First one gives me Chitta Shuddhi. Second one, it gives me the material benefits. because the phalam of the karma is going to be there. The drishta phalam is going to be there anyway. Only my adrishta has changed from material benefit to chitta shuddhi. So that benefit will be there for me. But the material, the drishta karma will give a drishta phalam also. Material benefits will also be there. That means first benefit is chitta shuddhi. Second benefit is material benefits. And third benefit is it serves as prayaschitta karma also. And therefore, I need not do prayaschitta karma separately. So in one stroke, you avoid two of the three prohibited karmas, which are what? Kamya karma and prayaschitta karma you avoid. All you have to do is refrain from the third prohibited karma, which is Niseido karma. It's a very neat solution that this verse provides. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Yes, Rinki. Boliye. Rinku, you can. Oh, 1 second. All right. Yeah. Now go ahead.
Yes, Om Acharya ji.
Yeah.
So essentially, when you're saying that we need to focus on Chitta Shuddhi as the primary aspect for all the other four karmas, you're saying that Chitta Shuddhi can be gained only by converting the attitude to Ishwar Arpanam and Ishwar Prasadam. Is that the
Absolutely.
only thing?
That's the only way.
That is the only way. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So remember that any karma will normally have a motivation. See, any karma will have motivation. The only thing we have to ensure is the motivation changes. The intention of the karma changes from material benefit to chitta shuddhi.
Right.
Okay. Yes, June.
Ravi ji,
Om.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
The first one is about the grammar of non-binding and binding karma. Is
Yeah.
mokshaka karma?
Mochaka.
Mochaka.
Yeah.
And the binding karma is bandaka or kamika?
Kayama, no. Bandaka simply means that which binds.
Okay.
Kamya karma means karma which is born out of a desire. So kamya karma is part of binding karma.
Okay. So binding karma is bandaka.
Bandaka, badaka, whichever.
Okay. And the second question is related when you mentioned that we should change the focus on the intention of the action. Like I've been trying to put this on practice in my daily life. So for example, if I have to perform something, for example, I don't know, give a yoga class. So I want to focus on offering as a God more than the material benefits of the class by itself. But still in my subconscious, the material benefit is still there somehow. So how can we ensure that we are 100% focusing on the Chitta Shuddhi and we forget completely about the material benefits? Because somehow it's still in the subconscious, that material benefit. So how can we get rid of that?
Okay. Basically, you are aware of the fact that there are two aspects. So the fact that you get material benefit, if you are just aware of it, it is fine. I'm not saying that you're doing something. You are doing, take your class. You are taking a yoga class. You know that there are some donations flowing in because of the class that you are taking. You are aware of that. Just being aware of that is okay. There's no problem. But is your motivation only that? That is what you have to see. If you are saying that this yoga class I'm going to do only if I get money, right? Obviously, at a vyavaharika level, at a relational level, transactional level, you need money to run your life. So that is fine. But how do you ensure? Do you ensure that, like if you have 10 students and, for example, the 11th fellow who is got no money, do you tell him that, no, you can't come to my class because you have no money? Or do you say that, okay, I got 10 people anyway, enough for me, this fellow is okay. So the focus is important. Which is your primary motivation? Is it the money or is it the teaching?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ravi.
Yes, Meeraji, boliye.
Sir, how do you convert your actions into Ishwara Arpanam? This is what I'm not able to understand. You were giving the example of RPG saying that you go round and round searching for the house.
Yeah.
How do you convert those you're taking rounds into Pradakshina? You're going round and round looking. So how does that become Ishwara Arpanam?
You have to visualize Ishwara standing in the middle somewhere.
Huh.
The house which you are looking for, visualize that house is Ishwara. What are you doing? You're going round and round. That is a Pradakshina, is it not?
Okay.
What is being said is that the constant remembrance of Ishvara should be there. Then only it becomes Karma Yoga. Then only becomes a Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. You can
So
do that to
means-
anything.
Mhm.
It's not just I just use the word Pradakshina because it's going round and round. But you can do that to anything.
Yeah.
You know, you're eating, you're brushing teeth, your very bath itself can be converted. You have a huge number of prayers in Hinduism, you know, like even for the bathing, you are invoking the gods, you know, Gange, Yamune, Saraswati, all that is there.
Okay.
That way.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Anjali.
Om Raviji, can you give an example to explain how we can convert our Prayashchit karma into Nitya and Naimittika, just so that I am sure I got it correct?
Let us say that, you know, what is a Prayashchita karma? It's a karma which is being done as a penance. Okay. So let us say that you done somebody some harm. All right. And now you want to rectify that. So you decided that this, you know, I have cost this fellow how much money? I've cost him, let us say, $10,000 because something I have done. I'm giving a very basic example. Okay. I'm not going into the mental you know, problem. Some basic example where you cost somebody some money, some loss. And therefore you're going to repay that. So that's a prayachita karma. You will go and tell him that this is, you lost this much because of me and this is what I'm replacing. So that is the laukika aspect of it. That is the worldly aspect of it. How is it going to be converted into, you know, Ishvara Arpanam?
You look at that person as Ishvara and then
You look at the person Ishvara and say, I'm offering the money to Ishvara. That's all. As simple as that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Bruti.
Sir Om,
Om.
I have a question related to the workplace. I was wondering, how can we relate our office works, like any business partner asking us for anything, we are communicating with them. So how am I going to relate this to Chitta Suddhi or Ishwara Arpanam?
The work itself, let us say that you are, give an example of what you're asked to do, for example. Let's say, just give an example of what you've been asked to do.
Maybe any requirement they have related to us, guest requirement, anything they are asking for.
So they're asking for a guest room. Okay, so you have to go and the hotel and book or something. Fine.
Yeah.
You can look upon it in two ways. One is it's a job which I'm carrying out for my boss. And one is you mentally, you know, have a resolution or take a sankalpa that, oh Lord, this is being done. I mean, of course, it's being done because I've been asked to do so, but I'm offering that to you. The simple action of mine is an offering to you. Basically, it's an offering at the temple. So for you, the world is a temple right now, and therefore you go to do the offering to the Lord, who is the central piece of that world, and you say, this booking which I am doing is an offering to you. It's as simple. This is not complicated process. You just have to have a mental sankalpa that yes, this is an offering to the Lord, which of course has another side to it. The moment the offering is given, you are no longer very concerned with the what happens afterwards. Because when you are saying I'm giving the offering, you are doing your best, right? So if it is a question of going and booking the order, you will do your best. You will go to the hotel, you'll go open up the internet, you'll do all those things. But the possibility exists that you may not get the booking. That should not bother you mentally. But yes, I failed. Because if your offering is 100%, which means that your effort has been 100%, there is nothing more you can do. After that, whatever happens is the will of the Lord. That is how you take it. And that is the Ishvara Prasada Bhavana. Once you can develop these two attitudes, the motivation becomes Chitta Shuddhi.
Thank you, sir.
Om Acharya ji,
Yes,
I have one question with regards to this. So when we are speaking of converting kamya karmas for Chitta Shuddhi, the simple things like maybe going outside to have a dosa or maybe going for a drive, how does one convert? Because these are done for the self, for whatever
it is
reason. So how does
entirely attitudinal change. You can simply offer it to the Lord by a simple mental resolution. That I'm offering this to you.
Okay.
All I'm saying is when you do that, you are invoking the Lord again and again and again. So when you're doing it for every action of yours, what is happening? Because every moment of your life, you are doing action.
Right.
And every action, if you offer the Lord, then you're invoking the Lord every moment of your life,
Whatever the action may be.
whatever the action is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Amit ji, boliye.
Oh, Acharya ji.
Oh,
Acharya ji, I have one question. Like you said, like in our Nitya Karma, if we have to like it, or whether we like it or not like it, we have to do it as an offering to God. Okay, my question is that, let's say if I have to speak lies to my customers, if I have to speak lies to my partner, because my work involves that, so how can I offer something to God which I am aware that is not right thing?
so that really is not part of the deal, because you are not supposed to, compromise there. You get the
But
idea?
job which is such a that
Then you
kind
should,
of
as a bhakta, as a Vedantic teacher or Vedantic student, you cannot have the what you call disharmony between thoughts and words and deeds.
okay.
It's very important to note that. And therefore, if you're on a job which requires you to do that, then as a Vedantic student, you should get out of that. You certainly cannot offer a lie to the Lord.
Correct.
So either you get out of the job, or you compartmentalize, saying that yes, for this job I'm offering, I have to do these things, and I can't really be doing offering that, and therefore I will do Prayaschitta karma.
But again, then it has about cash. Let's say I am speaking lie, but my motivation is that I am not speaking lie for my material gain. I am speaking lie because my management has asked me to do so. So will that?
But it is immoral, right? Once you know something is immoral, you are not supposed to do it anyway. So you cannot make that part of your karma yoga. You can simply say that, compartmentalize and say that yes, this is being done. I know I am wrong doing it, but I'll do prashchit for that. And then look around and see how you can get into a better life.
And prashchit for such things, what can be prashchit for?
You can do any amount of, there's so many prashchitam karma. You can offer go and spend some time into orphanages. You can feed some people. So many prashchitta karma are prescribed.
Thank you.
Yes, Preeti ji.
Ravi, while I understand that this is all an attitudinal change or a mental resolution to offer everything to Ishvara, is there any particular prayer that exists which says it all better than I could say it to Ishvara?
No, you simply say in whatever language you want, simply say that I'm offering this to you, that's all.
Because normally there is a prayer for everything, as you say. So if I start the day with a particular prayer which encompasses everything in my day, is there such a prayer?
We'll have to probably look for it. I'm sure there is. There's one about Shambho Tava Aradhanam and all that. You can do that. Yad karam karoti. Whatever I do, oh Shambho, I give it to you as Aradhana. I think I've mentioned that prayer. Yad karma karoti. Akhilam Shambho Tava Aradhanam.
It's from Shiva Manasa.
From Shiva Manasa Puja. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you don't have to do the prayer, okay? I mean, if you are familiar with the words, then it is fine. But if you're not familiar with the words, you simply offer a mental resolution saying that this is being given to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Shwetaji.
Sir, my mic is not working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, I wanted to understand more. What is a Niseido karma? Is it just as per Shastra? It is because it is binding. It is not
No,
suggested.
no.
But can you give
Nisheda
me
karma is karma which is specifically prohibited. For example, ahimsa. I mean, hinsa na kuryat. There is a prohibition. Do not commit hinsa. Do not commit violence. Or there's another prohibition: do not drink liquor. Suram na pibet. So these specific prohibited karma you should avoid completely, 100%. Telling lies you should avoid. And as a Vedantic student, that prohibition is absolute. You might have to, as Amit said, because of your the way that society is structured, you may be in a job where you are actually peddling some lies. So you are doing banned karma. The best solution is to get out of that job, but if that is not possible, at least one should be able to compartmentalize that and then do prashchita karma for that. And then, of course, continue your efforts to get out of the job as soon as possible. You can't have this contradiction existing knowingly forever, because there is a problem, right? That's what it means.
Thank you, Acharya. Understood, sir.
Okay. Anybody else?
Can I
Fine.
just add one thing?
Yes, please.
So basically, what I understood is that we should have proper attitude, but followed by proper action. So we cannot justify any of the action with proper attitude if we are not doing nitya or naimittika karma. So, like lying, for example, I cannot offer lie to the god. It should be follow. It should be
Yes,
yeah.
proper action is necessary. That's what he said. The action has to be ethical. Action has to be dharmic. You can offer that. Ideally speaking, as a committed Vedantic student, you should not be in a what you call organization which causes you to do these things. I mean, there are people here. Meda, for example, quit a job. Okay, she had a very good job. She quit because she found it inconsistent with her Vedantic, outlook. Meda, do you want to say a few words on that?
Actually, I quit before Vedanta, but it was still inconsistent and I was not happy. I felt life should not be lived this way, so I had to leave.
Yeah, so this dissatisfaction will show in a certain strain in you, like if consistently you are studying and then you are doing things, you're being forced to do things which are against that principles which you are imbibing, obviously you will not be happy. So that strain will sooner or later show. It is better to get out of that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, Chandrasekhar ji.
Om Ravi ji.
Om.
So my question here is, we in fact we had this discussion earlier, but I wanted to be a little more clear. Now, a person working for the government in a particular job, dealing with anti-national elements.
Yes.
And if that person has to be involved with violence,
yes,
because it is his duty. And that is one part. And the second is, whilst performing this duty, the violence may be against a certain, actually aimed at a certain thing, but collateral damage may have affected some people who are actually not involved to have been eliminated. Now, where does this karma fit into?
Okay, now that's a very good question, because let's put it this way. Let us say that there is a soldier, okay, an army official, or maybe anti-terrorist squad or something like that. So anti-terrorist squad is probably a better, because army is pretty straightforward, but terrorism is not. So let's take an anti-terrorist squad fellow. He has, what is his job? His job is to eliminate terrorists. Why does he have to eliminate terrorists? because terrorists are a threat to the nation. And let us say that he and his team or whatever, they figure out that there are some terrorists in this area. Let us say it is in Pakistan occupied Kashmir or something. And then what do? They enter into an operation to eliminate those terrorists. And Chandrasekhar's question has two parts. One is there is violence because you have to kill these people. Number two is during that violence, what happens if an innocent hostage or an innocent bystander is killed? Is that the sum of your question, Chandrasekhar?
Yes, Raviji.
Okay. So now, first thing, Krishna makes it very clear. He says that what is your duty as a soldier? So in this case, as an ATS officer, what is your duty? Your duty is to eliminate the terrorists. Now, if you are doing that duty as a duty, that's the very critical part. What is the adrishta portion of your duty? Is the intention just to carry out your duty, which means I have this fellow is a threat to the nation, so I'm eliminating him. That is the intention. Or is it that, oh, this guy, he actually killed 20, I'm going to destroy him? Is there an element of revenge there? Or is the element of just carrying out your duty is very important. So as long as personally there is no, I mean the Hindi word is khunnas. Okay, I don't know what the English translation is. Khunnas means that I have to get rid of this fellow. That I have the resentment, that urge to kill him. As long as that is not present, and it doesn't matter if the terrorist is A, B, or C. He is not a personalized entity to you. He is a person who is a terrorist. So for you, you are seeing a terrorist, not a X, Y, Z. So there is no element of this whole thing having been personalized into a personal battle. Then you are fine because you are doing your duty. And the intention is that I should save my country from harm, which is my duty anyway. As a duty, you are supposed to do that because the whole nation relies upon you to keep them safe. And therefore, there is absolutely no element of violation of scripture. That is the first part. So you are good. You are doing your duty of fine.
But here, as a Vedantic student, violence is a strict no.
Veda is a strict no, yes. But Krishna, remember, is Krishna's main student is Arjuna. What is it? Krishna telling Arjuna, kill everybody. Why? Because it is a duty. So there are two aspects. You can't implement your Vedanta onto the battlefield. The battlefield is strictly Vyavaharika. It has to be got to be dealt in a strictly Vyavaharika plane. So this non-violence comes into play in places where your duty is not clashing. Wherever duty clashes with these teachings of non-violence, the duty takes over, takes precedence. And that is why again and again, why does it take precedence? Because as Krishna tells in the 11th chapter, he says that whether you kill that fellow or not, it doesn't matter. His time has come. You are only the element, you are only the instrument of destruction. And therefore, this ATS officer who is going to kill these terrorists, he is not killing
easily.
He is being the instrument of dharma. He is being the instrument of the Lord in bringing about the death of a person who has got the prarabdha which has come up to that stage. Had that prarabdha been not such that he would have had to die, that person would never die. The very fact that the environment has been created where the ATS officer is trying to kill somebody and succeeding means that the prarabdha karma has fructified. So there is no contradiction there at all. There is no violation of Shastric rules. Even insana Korea, even that do not commit violence, not there.
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, if there is collateral damage, innocent bystander is killed, innocent hostage is killed, then the thing is, have you taken enough care to see that it could have been avoided.
Okay.
If that was there, I think you have done your duty. As far,
Okay,
in fact, most people, most of the law enforcement forces, they do take a lot of care to avoid collateral damage. In fact, from what I know, most people, they would reduce the level of violence so that the innocents are not hurt. But if at all somebody is hurt, then that definitely is a fault. And maybe what is available to you is Prashchitta karma as a Vedantic student. In law, nothing will happen to you because you're doing your duty. So dharmically, there is nothing wrong, but you could probably do a Prashchitta karma. Maybe meet this person's family and explain why it happened. If they are financially in straits, try to give some, financial help, assistance. All those things can happen.
That is the only way to get out of the guilt in case if there is any.
Get out of the guilt. Ideally, there should not be guilt. But as a human being, you would definitely know that somebody died who was, who need not have died, who was innocent. And therefore, you would try to make those amends as a person. As a ATS force, I don't think that our job is available to you, because I don't think the government will ever admit that innocent was killed deliberately.
Yes.
You don't have that. So as an individual, you can do it.
Yes. Thank you, Raviji.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar.
So, sir, it seems that karma binds and karma yoga liberates. So karma is common in both.
Yeah, solely the attitude.
It is just primarily such a simple thing, and it takes life, like
It takes
whole
lifetimes
life,
to
like-
understand.
Yeah.
Yes, Swati ji, boli. Swati ji, we are waiting.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
In continuation to the same question which Chandrasekhar ji asked, I wanted to say, is it the intention behind the act which is what is important you were mentioning?
It is the
When you said-
intention. It is the intention which creates the punyam or papa,
That's right.
not the act itself.
Okay. Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. So Devdeep ji, boli.
Om Raviji.
Om.
Raviji, from the perspective of a, let's say, a religious fundamentalist,
Yeah.
whatever that person is doing, in his head, he's like doing it for his God or his religion.
Yes.
But when an outsider interprets that, a lot of those actions are seen as violent or unnecessary or hurtful, even. So,
Well, you should apply a very broad criteria. Like a fundamentalist says, okay, fine, he's been brainwashed. But the criteria we apply is like in the case of an army official, on the ATS discussion which we're having, the violence is based on what? What is the basis of the violence? Duty is fine. That duty is based on the greater good.
Yes.
That the death of this criminal element will cause the others to be safe. In the case of the fundamentalist, it is the reverse. There is nothing or nobody whom he is trying to save. He is trying to propagate his own point of view that only my Lord is greatest. That is absolutely opposed to Vedanta, right? Vedanta says all people are the same. There is only Brahman. Everybody is Brahman. We don't even say there is one God. The moment you say there is one God, you have all these problems, because which is that God? Is it Jesus, or is it Mayam? Is it Allah, or is it Ram? Which is the God? But when you say there is only God, then even Jesus and Allah are Brahman only, right? That disposes of the whole argument. So for a fundamentalist, it is not that. Fundamentalist says that only I am right and all of you are wrong, and I shall prove it with violence. So this argument cannot apply there.
Okay.
All right.
If we are believing in the everybody is Brahman.
Correct. We are believing that there is only Brahman. There is no everybody at all.
Okay, if there is only Brahman, then in the act of killing the terrorist, are we going to look at the terrorist also as Brahmarupa.
Which part of it are you looking at? Are you looking at the consciousness part or are you looking at the body part?
Okay. So internally he is Brahma, inside he is actually Brahma.
There is only Brahman. But it is not Brahman who is killing, right? Brahman is Akarta. I cannot do any killing.
Oh, yes, that is true. Sorry.
It is always, all actions are at the Vyavaharika level.
Bodily level.
Yeah. So these are questions are all very good because time and again this has to come into fore that my way of thinking is probably, getting confused. So again and again when you do this, then sooner or later you begin to think in the correct manner.
True.
Om sir.
Om Sundar.
Here I think we can mention that hangman on Mr. Pawan who hanged the Nirbhaya convicts.
Correct.
After hanging, he said that I am happy and thank Ishvara. He said.
Because
that is a classical example of attitude.
Yeah, because he took upon himself the burden of being the hangman, which not very many people would like, but with the attitude that I am only carrying out Ishvara's wish.
Yes.
Prarabdha karma is being eliminated. That is all he said. That is fine, a good attitude. Without that, hangmen have a lot of psychological problems. I'm sure this guy didn't have. हाँ ललिता जी बोलिए. Hello, sorry, Lata, please tell.
Ravi ji, just a question, and this usually happens in many places. So between a son trying to go ahead and make decisions between what a daughter-in-law wants and what a mother wants, okay? So basically it's duty of the son to look after mother, but daughter-in-law is such that, she wouldn't want the husband to go ahead and look at mother and give more priority to herself. So ideally in that case, the son is like sandwiched between mother and daughter-in-law. One side is duty, both sides is duty, but in the end, for him to make a decision on the karma becomes a big challenge. So ideally, most of us face this kind of a thing, but how does one person make a decision between duty and karma out here?
Your question seems to presuppose that doing whatever the wife wants is duty. It's not. Duty has to be...
No, doing what...
Yeah.
Duty can be even what mother wants, right?
No. Duty is doing what is right.
Okay.
So you have a duty to look after your mother. You have a duty to look after your wife also. But if your wife is making an unjust demand that you don't look after your mother, that is not duty at all. That is attachment.
Okay.
So, to be able to handle this properly, there are other ways also, right? There's ways of trying to convince your wife, but if it's not possible, then you have to say that, sorry, what you're saying is not correct. And then be prepared to bear the consequences. But you'd explain why. Without any shouting and screaming, you'd explain why it's not possible to do what you're asking me to do. And the same thing in reverse also. Okay, if the mother-in-law wants something to be done to the wife which is not correct, he should have the guts to tell his mother also that it's not possible.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so with this we'll stop. Thank you very much. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you.